The Can't Hack It Pantywaist League weekly review starts now.
Look at me now, look at me now, look at me, look at me, look at me now. No one can bother me, not in the slightest. I'm yelling victory, throwing your towel. I'm taking my shot and doing it well. I'm saving myself, no need for the bell. I'm giving it everything, all that I got. I'm conquering battles that rage in my thoughts. So I take one step at a time, fall into formation as I see the motivation in the eyes of my reflection. You may reap what you sow, but I'm gonna reap what I write. I put in the work and I do it a lot, cause you gonna see me when I'm at the top, ready or not. Said I gotta go. Did it for her, my two sisters and bro. Gave up my freedom in order to grow. Sacrifice more than you ever would know. Defending the nation for foreign invasion. Got in information for the next generation. Running my duty station with that motivation. We ready for war. Ready for war. Regiment full of pride. Step by step marching, we in the stride. Operation training to survive. Like the hero before us that fought and died. We continue the mission from day to day. Praying to God that he make a way. Out of all the things I wanna say, sorry mama that I couldn't stay.
He's out of his weight class there.
Toss play to Mixon on first and goal. 25 at the 19 of Miami, first and 10. And here goes Phillips chasing the quarterback. Commit again with a block and a touchdown.
Same play. And a touchdown for Joe Mixon.
Jones the block at the left tackle. Time for Fields. Now he'll accelerate. He's open. The first down is right tackles and he's off to the races.
Starter than the guy who comes in pass rush situation.
This one's good. Fields a run for 17. Back he goes. Here comes Chubb. There goes the car. Looking for Adams. He's got a step. He's got the catch. He's got a touchdown. That's two strikes. Look
at that Morris right there, 60. Working on Nathan Shepard. That was the key block on that play.
First and goal.
He snaps the ball.
The fake and a good one to the end zone. Come up, touchdown.
Right now, protecting this lead.
Dragged
down. Mixon motoring around the edge. Mixon into the end zone. His fourth rushing touchdown of the day.
Wyoming Redskins Week 9 put on a show. 328 yards passing, 3 passing touchdowns, 155 yards rushing, 347 yards receiving on 29 catches, 9 total touchdowns there, 108 yards in field goals, an extra point, a fumble recovery, and 2 sacks. They, as a team, get the Week 9 play of the week.
Well, I'm the best there is. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence.
Right now, this lead.
Joe Mixon with Wyoming Redskins, the monster performance this week. And he scored 53.1 points. That's 38 more than his projection. 22 rushes, 153 yards. He had 5 targets, caught 4 of them for another 58 yards, and 5 total touchdowns, 4 rushing and 1 receiving. He's obviously the number 1 player on the week, week 9, and that puts him up to the running back number 4 in 2022.
Let the big dog eat!
And boy, did the big dog eat in week 9. Wyoming Redskins, 6th high scorer of all time, 6-1 this year. and put up 215 points. We'll get into a little bit more of the importance of that number here coming up in the review. But once again, Wyoming Redskins putting up the most points in the league, and this one just a monstrous week there for the high scorer of the week in Week 9.
I'm the greatest of all time.
So how great was that performance in Week 9 by Wyoming Redskins? Well, here's a list of all our high scorers throughout our history. In 2012, USC NFL put up a 148. Now, that was the first season, so of course that was the high score. Very next year, it was beat by Mike's team at 167. Then 2 years later, DeMortimarius, Mr. Brink, put up 190. And that stood for 4 years. So 2019, C.H.I.P.L for you put up 202. And then just this last weekend, Wyoming Redskins with 215 points. But looking over also just some individual accolades. This last weekend, Corbett got his 80th win in history. Cavazos his 75th, and Barnett his 25th. Regular season win. A couple coming up is Myers is 1 win away from 75, and Anderson's 1 win away from 25. And then down there you can see a list of all the wins everybody has. As we keep tracking, we'll start tracking these a little closer. But Doom at 83 leads all time Can't Hack It Pantywaist League owners. Poles at 71, Kirsch and Cotton 68, Clark and Chappie at 58, Gilly 45, Wilborn 27, and Gear 16.
You play ball like a girl!
That's what she said.
Week 9 low score goes to Hellfire and Brimstone. It's their first time this season, third all time. In fact, they've done one each of the last 3 seasons, starting to make a trend and getting an average going there, but only scoring 70 points in Week 9. Just to wrap up what kind of week it was, his highest scoring performance was his defense at 18 points. Everybody else well under what they're projected or expected to score. So ugly week for Hellfire and Brimstone. We'll see if they're able to turn it around come Week 10, or if this is just a sign of what's to come, and maybe they need to sell here before the deadline on Saturday.
You gotta ask yourself a question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Quick review, Week 1. Bengals took out Hellfire and Brimstone. 49ers got Catch and Thielen's. Titans took out Michael's team. And Torts Illustrated, the Broncos got Doomsday, Sunday's Thunder, and Bud Wilborn's team. Week 2, Bengals again taking out CD's Nuts, the second team that they took out. Week 3, Chiefs took out Mac Lives Matter. Then we got to jump all the way to Week 6, where Camaralis got taken out. And then Week 7, the Buccaneers also took out Baker's Dozen of Reject. And then Week 8, nobody lost. We were looking pretty good. And then come Week 9, the unexpected happened again, and the Bills took down Colby's team in their loss to the Jets. So to give you an update on our CPR standings, at the number 3 pick, you're going to have Camaralis, who got that in a trade from Colby's team. Then Baker's Dozens of Rejects. Then there's Colby's team at the reverse side of that trade, or the flip side of that trade with Camaralis. Mac Lives Matter, 6. CD's Nuts at 7. Sunday's Thunder, 8. Bud Wilborn's team at 9. Then you have Camaralis at 10. Got that from Hellfire and Brimstone in a trade. Michael's team's at 11. Doomsday 12. Catch and Thielen's 13. And Torts Illustrated at 14, with the 2 still surviving in the pool. Wyoming Redskins and Gilly Cheesesteak. Well, shitting the bread brought a whole new meaning Week 9 in the Can't Hack Pantywaist League. As Hellfire and Brimstone, Gilly Cheesesteak, Camaralis, Colby's team, and Torts Illustrated all partook in the shitting of the bed. And what do you mean exactly? Well, Hellfire and Brimstone lost by almost 50 points. Camaralis, 29.5 points. Torts Illustrated, 51.5. 48 points by Colby's team. And Gilly Cheesesteak losing by over 128 points this week. Just an ugly week all around. A lot of high scoring on some teams, but then others just, like you said, shit the bed.
Boom shakalaka! He's heating up! He's on fire!
And we currently have 3 teams that are on fire. Mac Lives Matter, Michael's team, and Catch and Thielen's. Mac Lives Matter is 5-4, so in 4th place now. They've won 4 straight, so they were 1-4 before this hot streak. Currently, Kyler Murray is the quarterback 6, Christian McCaffrey the running back 5, and Tyler Boyd the wide receiver 13. They're putting up 120 points a week still, opponent about a 116. And again, their longest streak in their history is 2017, where they won 6 straight. Catching Thielen's at 4-5. They're in 9th place. They're also on 4 straight. It means they were 0-5 when this hot streak started. They have the quarterback 15 in Aaron Rodgers, the running back 9, Leonard Fournette, and Jalen Waddle up there at the wide receiver 5 on the year. They're scoring 103 points a week. Their opponent also 103 a week. This ties their longest streak of 2020 of 4 straight. So this next week they're going to be looking to set their own record. Not only get to 5-5 in the week, but the 5 straight wins and get back in that playoffs. They're only 1 game out of the playoffs right now. And Michael's team, they're 6-3 in 3rd place. They've won 3 straight. They have the surprise quarterback of the year, Geno Smith at QB 8, Derrick Henry running back 2, Christian Kirk at wide receiver 9. They're putting up 114 a week, opponent 112, and they won 9 straight in 2018.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Last week's matchup of the week was the rematch of the 2021 CHIPL. Black Lives Matter came out on top again, 122 to about 94. Kyler Murray had a pretty good day. Ken Walker had a really good day, as did Tua for Black Lives Matter. And then for Kamara, honestly, his wide receivers are what let him down the most, putting up under 6 points. And his tight end didn't put up any, and that's the difference there in that matchup. And then looking forward to this week's matchups, you're going to have Kamara traveling to take on Michael's team. There's Black Lives Matter. They'll be taking on CD's Nuts in a battle of 5 and 4s right there. Hellfire and Brimstone is on the road also, taking on Baker's Dozen Rejects. Torch Illustrated will be welcoming Doomsday into his house for this weekend. Bud Wilborn's team's taking on Gilly Cheesesteak, and Colby's team will play host to Catchin' Thielen's. But the matchup of the week for week 10 is going to be 1 versus 2. Wyoming Redskins traveling to take on Sundays of Thunder. Wyoming Redskins is 8-1 on the season. Sundays Thunder 6-3. They played each other 14 times in the regular season, and the Corbett organization has taken 10 of those victories. And they've met in the playoffs once. The Corbett organization took that one as well. They've won the last 2, and they've won 8 of the last 9 going back to 2017, and that includes the 3rd place game. In different outcome scenarios, Wyoming Redskins, they're going to make the playoffs either way it looks like. If they go 9-1, every team before them 9-1 has made it. They were to go 8-2. The only team that did not make it at 8-2 was 2012 Polton organization, the Raider Nation 12. And then Sunday Thunder with a win will go 7-3. 11 teams prior have gone 7-3. 10 have made the playoffs. The only team that didn't, you guessed it, Polton organization 2013. Pimpin' ain't breezy. Yeah, loss would put them at 6-4. 25 teams have gone 6-4. 21 have made the playoffs. Big matchup here between 1 and 2. An opportunity for Sunday Thunder to put themselves and distance themselves from 3rd place, 4th place, or just another opportunity for Wyoming Redskins to increase their lead. These teams are both projected to put up big-time points this week, even with the bye weeks, to a couple big players like Mixon and Mark Andrews. They're still both expected to put up in the 130s, and that's just projection. So it should be a fun matchup to watch, and we'll see who can come out on top.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
All right, look at that playoff picture as we were getting closer each and every week to the playoffs. We got Wyoming Redskins, Sunday Thunder, and Michael's team, those top 3. They'll be picking their first round opponent. Black Lives Matter at 4, Bud Wilborn's team at 5, Hellfire and Brimstone at 6, Doomsday at 7, and CD's Nuts at 8, with most everybody else still a game or 2 out, still fighting for those final playoff spots. And Wyoming Redskins at 8-1, padding their lead. There's 3 teams in history who have gone 8-1, all made the playoffs. Again, 11-1 is a record that has never been met in the Pantywaist League history. At 6-3, we got Sundays the Thunder and Michael's team. 18 teams have gone 6-3. 15 of them have made the playoffs. Black Lives Matter, Bud Wilborn's team, Hellfire and Brimstone, Doomsday, and C's Nuts sitting at 5-4, wrapping up kind of the playoff picture there. 28 teams in history, 19 of them made the playoffs. At 4-5, the guys are knocking on the door. It is Catchin' Thielen's and Colby's team. They are 2 of 25 teams before them have gone 4-5. 7 have made the playoffs. Kind of a little bit farther out on the outside looking in, we got Kamara Gilly Cheesesteak, and Baker's Dozen of Rejects. 18 teams have gone 3-6 before these 3. None have made the playoffs. And finally, here we got Wearing Skirts for Hertz. We have Torts Illustrated 1-8. 3 teams in history have gone 1-8. He's the 4th. None have made the playoffs. And again, no team has ever not won at least 2 games in the regular season. So we'll see how it's going to play out for Torts Illustrated going forward. Thank you for joining us for another Can't Hack It Pantywaist League Weekly Review. Goodbye.